What's up, everyone? We are back with the NASM Chapter 12 study guide. This is the most important chapter, but I'd say this Chapter 12 has the most information I need to memorize and isn't very easy to memorize. This video is going to be split up into two sections. First section, me just reading off the study guide, and I'll be throwing up explanations of what the assessments look like, terms that I'm not familiar with. I'll be throwing those up on the screen, and then the second section is going to be going over a slideshow I made over a breakdown of each assessment. Without further ado, I'm just going to get started on the study guide. Static posture is typically assessed in the standing position. It is used to identify three postural distortions: pes planus distortion syndrome, upper cross syndrome, and lower cross syndrome. Pes planus distortion syndrome is characterized by flat feet, knee valgus, and internally rotated and adducted hips. Lower cross syndrome is characterized by anterior pelvic tilt and excessive lordus of lumbar spine. Upper cross syndrome is characterized by a forward head and protracted shoulders. The overhead squat assessment, which their abbreviation for that is OHSA, OSA. The overhead squat assessment is the first movement assessment performed for clients and serves as the basis for all movement assessments. It evaluates dynamic posture, core stability, the neuromuscular control of the whole body during a squat motion. Important point in that was it's the first movement assessment performed for clients. Just to show you how NASM prioritizes the overhead squat. During the overhead squat assessment, notate all movement impairments to identify potential muscle imbalances from the anterior view. Look for feet turning out or knees caving in. From the lateral view, look for low back arching, excessive forward lean, or lean of the torso. But the single leg squat assessment should be used for clients who have performed well in the overhead squat assessment, or if the fitness professional is considering a single leg exercise in their programming. So that's kind of a single leg squat is kind of like the overhead squat 2.0. Did well in it, you give them that. Or if they're doing any single leg exercises, which I wouldn't necessarily do unless the client only had one leg. This test is good assessment of an individual's ability to balance, which is an important functional consideration for activities of daily living and exercise programming. Pushing and pulling assessments evaluate function of the upper extremities and concurrent core stability. They can be used as an intake assessment or an integrated part of the actual programming. When performing pushing and pulling assessments, look for the following movement impairments: low back arching, shoulders elevating, or head jutting forward. Performance assessments can be used of clients looking to improve athletic performance and measure maximal strength, power, muscular endurance, and speed and agility. The push-up test measures the muscular endurance of the upper extremities during the pushing movement. Bench press, squat strength assessments measure maximal strength capabilities. These tests are advanced assessments for strength-specific goals and may not be suitable for clients with limited experience with resistance training. The vertical jump and long jump assessments measure the lower body power. The left test, again, not one I'm familiar with, will be thrown up on the screen by editing that, is designed to test lateral speed and agility. Left is considered an advanced assessment for speed and performance-specific goals. The 40-yard dash assessment evaluates reaction capabilities, acceleration, and maximal sprinting speed. The Pro Shuttle 5-10-5 test assesses acceleration, deceleration, agility, and control. This test is appropriate for clients with athletic goals seeking to assess agility and sprinting speed. All assessments need to be sequenced in specific order to help guarantee an accurate result. Non-fatiguing assessments, such as, I don't know what that means.
Predissipation,
such as a prerequisite for whatever. It's a participation, health screening, and physiological and body composition assessments should be conducted prior to posture movement, cardio, and performance assessments. Fitness professionals should always use caution when implementing movement and performance assessments with their clients. Certain populations, such as overweight or obese, youth, elders, adults, and prenatal client may need to modify or avoid certain movement and performance assessments. Some assessments are not applicable because they do not relate to the client's goals. Other assessments may cause safety concerns. So that's the study guide for it. A lot of stuff in there. All right, we're on to section 2, guys. Congratulations, we got through the study guide. All right, first term, upper cross, lower cross syndrome. Upper crossed. It's the upper part of your back. It's kind of jutting forward, Lower crossed, you got that excessive forward lean. I remember seeing this meme on TikTok This guy's like, I'm studying for NASM, and it was some girl like posing like that. Upper cross or lower cross syndrome. Upper cross syndrome, upper back muscles, trapezius, left dorsal scapulae are tight. Part of it, the overhead squat assessment checklist. So when you're giving it to your client, first step is briefly explain what they're supposed to do. Number 2, have the client remove their shoes. Very important point. No shoes. No shoes. Feet straight ahead. So nothing like this. It's not like a normal squat where if I'm doing a weighted squat, my feet are kind of like that. So straight ahead. Have a client squat continuously 5 to 15 reps at a medium tempo. From an interior view, observe the client's following. Feet and knees. Observe. I don't know why. Maybe it's not written down, but I just feel like we could have just said, observe their feet and knees. Note any compensations observed. Reposition client's feet before starting a lateral view. You look at the front, say, hey, you know the 515, and then you look at them from the side. So from this angle. Started the assessment looking them straight ahead. Stage 2 of it, second set of squatting, you're looking at them from here. Walk to lateral view versus having client turn. Having a client squat continuously 5 to 15 reps at a medium temp. From a lateral view, observe the client's LPHC, limbo pelvic hip complex. So this area right here. Torso angle, so like 12. Note any compensations observed. So this one is also from the NASM blog. I think this is addressing the point of why would you want to do the overhead squat assessment. It says this means that you need to find ways to increase the ability of overactive muscles to stretch. So the point of doing the overhead squat assessment is to find which muscles are over and underactive. But once you find which muscles are overactive, you stretch them. This is typically done through a combination of foam rolling, static stretching. You must therefore find ways to activate underactive muscles by programming resistance training for these muscles. So I'm not 100%. Oh, what the fuck? All right. The second understanding you must have is the difference between overactive and underactive muscles. Overactive or shortened muscles are those muscles that are commonly referred to as tight. This leads to a reduced range of motion. Underactive muscles are those that tend to have a decreased neural drive. In other words, they are not being activated for any number of reasons, leading to a lack of tension through them. Both extremes are problematic, and our goal as fitness professionals is to address potential issues through programming. I like that. I tend to like their blogs a lot more than their textbooks. Big chart. And honestly, I'm kind of impressed. We've already addressed a lot of this, but this is way more detailed, and it's overwhelming. I'm not gonna tell you that it's not. On the lateral view of the overhead squat, you're looking for the LPHC and the upper body. So what does excessive lean forward mean? It could mean the soleus, the gastrocnemius, hip flexors, rectus femoris, psoas, abdominal. Those muscles are probably overactive. The low back arches, the hip flex complex, the TFL, rectus femoris, psoas, rectus spinae, those are probably overactive as well if the low back arches. So let's say I'm doing the overhead squat and my arms start falling forward. You could say, hey Thad, I think your lats are overactive. What do you do to help me? You tell me to roll them out or something. If you want to pause, take a screenshot of this, look it up, feel free. But a lot of this, I'm not just going to read it out because it's line by line. I think this would require its own separate video, honestly. Saying if you take your client through an overhead squat assessment, you're not diagnosing them with anything, but you're looking for those overactive and underactive muscles so that you can do corrective exercise, and then over time you'll see improved movement. You got it. And the push-up test. Goal is to see how many push-ups can be completed without compensation. Lower back, repeat steps 1 and 2 until compensation is required. So just have a push-ups until failure, until they start to have bad form. This is 25 minutes. I'm gonna have to do some serious editing. That's it for now. I didn't go as hard as I thought I would for chapter 12. Videos on chapter 12. You know what? I'm gonna keep making videos, helping other people study for it until I'm 100% satisfied with my knowledge on it. So there's going to be quite a few more videos, especially on this chart right there, on what it means, how we're going to memorize it. Maybe we'll do like a Quizlet game on it, whatever. But this is it. That's done. This video's done. Anyway, it's Radthad signing out. I hope you have a great day. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my pump covers and tank tops. This one, pretty tight. It says, it's a little too big. It says PR day, pretty tight. It actually looks way cleaner in person, but that's what it looks like on screen. Anyway, see you guys. Thanks for watching.